Imagine getting a letter from one of the world's largest companies saying, "Your business is illegal, we have your property, admit defeat, or we'll sue you into oblivion." Well, that's exactly what happened to small Norwegian electronics repair shop owner Henrik Husby. According to a Vice.com article from April 13, 2018, Apple and Husby became entangled in a legal battle over Husby's right to repair Apple devices. Ultimately, the court sided with Husby and allowed him to do so. But that still leaves us with a few questions. Husby ran a simple tech repair shop. Why did Apple want him to stop fixing their phones? Because they don't want them to be fixed. Planned obsolescence refers to a number of practices employed by companies to make their products obsolete or broken and out of date in a certain period of time. The rationale behind this is that consumers will be forced to spend more money buying newer products rather than just fixing what they already have, increasing company profits. In short, they want to make their devices repairable and replaceable and not repairable. So today, let's examine the historical usage of planned obsolescence, its common methods and practices, and impacts in our world. Because if we don't understand what these companies are doing, what happened to Husby could happen to anyone. And there's no way we can win all those court battles. Capitalism is clearly rooted in the history of our nation's successes. However, such innovation has come at a cost. Planned obsolescence contributes to a next best thing consumer culture, and as a result, typewriters and older formats are eventually phased out. And this dates all the way back to the Industrial Revolution. The 1920s were troublesome times for the automotive industry, in that cars appeared to be a passing fad and sales were rapidly declining. In the midst of the Great Depression, something was needed to stimulate the flow of capital through the economy. To address this dilemma, General Motors had proposed a radical idea known as perceived obsolescence. Convince consumers that one car per lifetime was not sufficient. You need to buy new models to stay fashionable. This strategy put GM ahead of other competitors and established an industry standard of marginally modifying products to sell consumers things they don't necessarily need. The exponential potential for profit and planned obsolescence caused this practice to spread like wildfire to the production of clothing, light bulbs, appliances, and so many more. Of course, there are more modern examples of planned obsolescence to phone in, namely our smartphones. Companies like Apple are notoriously guilty of pumping out new devices year after year that are more or less of the same thing, save for some minor features, a higher number, and an even higher price tag. According to an independent article from December 21st, 2017, Apple has even gone on record to say that they purposefully slowed down their old devices to convince consumers to get an upgrade. Another industry where planned obsolescence is common, but might not be quite so obvious, is in agriculture. Seed companies like Pioneer and many others have genetically engineered their crop to be infertile, so that farmers can't simply use this year's crop to grow seeds to plant next year. Pioneer's whole business model is based around customers buying a new supply of seed for each planting season. While planned obsolescence seems to be a fairly straightforward practice, companies often employ a number of more subtle techniques through both physical and non-physical methods. The first physical method employed by companies is to use relatively non-durable components so that a product mechanically fails within a set amount of time. When compared to their traditional wall plug-in counterparts, the internal batteries of many rechargeable devices, such as Dyson's battery-powered vacuum, often deteriorate prematurely and cause the product to fail. The second physical method employed by these companies is illustrated in the Husby Apple court case, which is repair prevention and discouragement. Companies often don't design or widely release replacement parts for their products, and as a result, some products are simply made to be thrown away instead of replaced. The final physical method of planned obsolescence is lying in the design format where older formats are designed to be incompatible with older ones, like, say, designing a brand new iPhone and then deciding to remove the audio jack to release these ridiculously expensive Bluetooth earphones, the older formats are eventually phased out. But no one would ever actually do that, right? In addition to these physical methods, designers also utilize perceived obsolescence. Clever marketing tactics, gimmicks, and a minuscule upgrade convince you to replace the outdated version of a product despite it functioning just fine. In addition to the historical GM example, a Sports Illustrated magazine article from December 28, 2019 revealed how Nike's Air Max line of running shoes show how a single shoe model can be re-released for years on end just by changing the material and color combination every few months. Now that we understand what planned obsolescence is and how it functions, let us finally discuss its extensive global impacts. Environmental repercussions of planned obsolescence contribute to wasteful resource consumption, and damages are estimated to be $520 million every year, as stated in BBC's January 19, 2019 article. Continuously replacing parts instead of repairing them generates more pollution while also using more valuable natural resources. Some of these practices deliberately trade convenience in place of environmental stewardship. However, designing a product for a predetermined lifespan does have its advantages too. According to the United States Food and Drug Administration article from October 4th, 2019, sell-by dates and use-by dates on your food are a guide to both retailers and consumers, highlighting when a product is safe to eat and at its best. Furthermore, planned obsolescence does offer many benefits to both businesses and the economy by contributing to increased retail sales and recognize and creating new jobs that would otherwise be unrealized without planned obsolescence. Through a deeper analysis into planned obsolescence, it is evident that this strategy affects our daily lives. Equipping ourselves with the knowledge of the practice's history, common methods, both physical and non-physical, and extensive global impacts helps us to be educated decision makers in our own daily lives. Chances are you don't have to worry about getting a litigious letter in the mail from Apple like Henry Cusseby did. However, by staying informed and recognizing the impact these practices can have, you stand a much better chance at remaining relevant for a long, long time.